Boom.
There we
AOA
go.
podcast back again. You ready, big dog?
I'm ready. You said we're gonna go right now, and usually that's like a 10-minute warning for you.
Shut up. More on the Trump raid. Boy, was there ever more. Lots of stuff going on. We'll get into it. Anne Heche family history. Bizarre.
Really?
Up there with Ghislaine Maxwell family history as far as your jaw's going to drop when I tell you some of the stuff. It's crazy.
Alrighty.
Alec Baldwin pulled the trigger according to an FBI report. That's kind of breaking over the weekend.
Yep.
We got a Metallica divorce. I'm sorry, Frank.
Hey, it happens.
Kiely Rodni? She's missing.
Oh.
We might have another Gabby Petito on our hands there. Pedal Water, the VR time machine, and so much more. That's a podcast. Oh. What's up, man?
Same old, my brother. We got it's Monday. Ready to friggin' roll.
I am a little surprised at how much the raid on Mar-a-Lago is still the biggest, most dominating story of the day.
I'm not surprised. That's a huge deal.
Yeah, it is, but it's a week old now. I wasn't surprised when it carried through all of last week's episodes because we were just like a week into it, but I was surprised that it hasn't died down. And
because more stuff keeps coming up, is that what you're saying?
Things keep coming up. He's responding to it more and more.
Well, that's classic him.
And well, I'll wait until we get to the end. The last thing I tell you is probably going to be very upsetting. You're probably not going to like it at all.
What are you going to do? We'll see what it is.
Okay, let's start. Lots of stuff happened. We talked about the DOJ wanting to release the warrant. Then he didn't want it. Then he was like, release it. Then they were like, okay, well, we'll put it out. We'll get a judge to do it. And then the Trump camp was like, whoa, hold on. We might not want to put this out just yet.
Right.
And then it came out. So that was that. Today, the issue is the release of the FBI affidavit that was used to justify the warrant and the search of Mar-a-Lago last week. Now the Department of Justice doesn't want that released. They're saying federal prosecutors wrote in a court filing, quote, if disclosed, the affidavit would serve as a roadmap to the government's ongoing investigation, providing specific details about its direction and likely course in a manner that is highly likely to compromise future investigative steps.
All right. Well, that's a good reason. Ongoing investigation. You can't, with any ongoing investigation, no matter what it is, you can't release all the info. It's.
Yeah. And I think that's what's driving people crazy about this, Frank, is that this is a marathon and we only want sprints.
It doesn't work that way. Especially something like this
takes forever. Yeah. Like if there was wrongdoing in this, if it was politically motivated, if there was anything again not up to code, for that to come out, you're talking about years for that to come out. For them to get to the bottom of that.
Yeah, the chat seems to have it right. Terry, I agree with you. Hello from Bremerton, Washington State. Chris, how you doing?
That sounds made up.
It does. Bremerton.
Is Bremerton a real place in Washington State? Bremerton?
I'm sure it is. Why would he make that up?
I don't know.
Or she, Chris.
Sounds like something that somebody from Bremerton would do, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's this thing. There's nothing good coming out of this, I don't see. This raid.
Who did you say you agreed with? I'm sorry.
Terry Marie.
Frank, the man's a lunatic, and this proves that he was trying to do everything he could to gain power one way or the other. If he makes a deal with another country, I don't
know what that shower means. I'm sure there's a typo there, but
Okay, but be honest. Do you think that this guy was really going to sell nuclear secrets to another country?
If someone said that to me and said, "Oh, I'd be like, oh, come on," and then I go, "It's not as far
No,
fetched as you think."
come
I wouldn't
on.
put it past them. It's not like it's unbelievable. I want to believe that it's not
No,
true.
I don't believe that for an instant.
I want
I
to
don't.
believe it's not true, but how the hell do I know with this guy?
I don't know what he was doing. I mean, I've given you my theory on what he was doing. I've shared
Uh-huh.
that with you. That this is all part of his little game, little ploy
It doesn't make
to.
any sense, though. That doesn't make any sense. That's if he's just looking for that's too far forward thinking. I mean, first of all, 27 boxes. You don't need to take that much stuff. Number one. Number two, you know, that's giving. It's not like it's unjustified, the raid. I mean, they asked him for it back. He flat out lied. Oh, they should have just asked for it back. No, they've asked, and he ignored it. So this is what happens.
Well, okay. Either way, I don't think that whatever the motivation was, I don't agree or think that he was going to sell nuclear secrets, American nuclear secrets, to another country. That just doesn't fit his MO. That's just not who he is. I think he would do. No, it's not. I think that first of all, narcissistic is his MO.
looking after his own self.
But this isn't. That's not part of this. There's nothing for him to How would he look if they found that out?
He would deny it. That's the thing. He could. His battle plan since day one is, I'll do whatever I want. They catch me, I just deny it and say I'm the victim. That's pretty much what's been happening.
Yeah.
So,
but again, I don't see what what does he have to gain? What is there to gain for him to give nuclear secrets to another country?
Well, the only thing there is to gain, money or power.
There's no power in that. Where's the power? I understand that, but he doesn't need the money.
How do you know?
Because all the dopes that support him keep giving him money for nothing.
Well, people who want money rarely stop at a number.
Okay, but I understand that. But he could raise $50 million tomorrow off of some ludicrous story, off of all the rubes that love to give him money. He could raise $50 million.
He's already done that.
Why would he want to? What could he possibly get by selling? Like, what would that go for? $30 million? Like, there's just no, he doesn't need to do it.
He could go for billions. Who the hell knows? And he probably, look at what Paul's saying. He owes billions. I'm sure he does. The people he doesn't pay, I'm sure he owes a lot of money.
Listen, I'm sure he owns money. I'm sure he's got issues. I'm sure the Trump organization has issues.
He's got to pay his legal fees, man. He's got a lot. He's in court. He's being sued left and right. I'm sure he's got a ton of legal fees.
That's fine. And a lot of people are calling me naive here, and that's okay too. I don't see him as the type of person that would sell nuclear secrets to our sworn enemy.
What's the type of person?
It's just, again, even
a liar.
Even look, I'm not saying he's a stand-up gentleman. I don't believe he is, but it doesn't fit his MO to me. I just don't see it. Just don't see it.
Maybe you're right. Maybe he wasn't doing that. But the fact of the matter is he had these documents for some reason. Why would he need them?
But what are we talking about here? We're going to sell out our nuclear secrets to some other country? I mean, his whole family lives here. His children, his grandchildren.
He still has
What, he's going to move everybody to Saudi Arabia after he sells our nuclear secrets for $20 million?
Any other country?
I just don't see it.
He could move everybody if he wants to.
I just don't see it. I really just don't see it. I mean, even if you're talking about political asylum, I still just don't see it. I just don't see it. By the way, I mean, and I went somewhere I didn't think I was going to go, but let's talk about that for a second. Political asylum. In the worst case scenario that he gets nailed for whatever, whether it be this or some other thing, he's not going to jail. They're not going to put a president of the United States behind prison bars. It's just never, ever going to happen.
Why do you
They'll
say
make
that?
some deal for him to just go away, be quiet, do not say anything anymore about.
Think he'll be happy with that? He'd rather go to jail.
I mean, maybe, but I think he would fight it. I think whatever it is, he would fight it to the death. But I think the end result is just don't run for president again, and then we'll be fine. I think that's
he's not gonna settle for that. Even if that's the sentence, if that's the outcome of this, he would tell his supporters, they don't want me to run again. They want to keep Trump out of the White House. And then it would cause this whole huge thing. And he'd probably stoke another freaking riot or something like that. Anything that doesn't come out as a win for him is unacceptable. So that's how he'll spin this.
I mean, I see him more likely to burn. Like I could see burning down the country to put himself into power. I see. Selling nuclear secrets to somebody else, that doesn't make sense to me.
That's the same thing.
It's really
you
not.
You just said he'd burn down the country to go and to get power.
That
you don't think he'd sell our secrets to get power somewhere else or money from somewhere? Oh,
power somewhere else means nothing.
How? Are you kidding?
Doesn't mean it. Power where? In Saudi Arabia? What would they make them? But they wouldn't make it.
Any other Russia, Korea, anywhere, any of our enemies that he's been praising for the last 6 years, he can go and hang out with. I'm sure.
I don't know. I don't see it. I just I don't see it.
Well,
clearly I'm in the minority. I'm in the minority here.
If he's not the kind of guy that would do it, then describe who would. I mean,
except for David. No, I think doing something like that is you want to see harm come to Americans. I think if you're going to do that,
that's been proven. He doesn't give a shit.
No, he doesn't want to harm.
And we lost Anthony, or me. I don't know which one of us dropped out. I think Anthony. My whole point is, if it's still me on the air, that he doesn't care about the American people. He's shown that when on January 6th, it took him how long to say what he said, and it didn't do any. What did it do? It caused the death. It caused dozens and dozens of people to be injured. He didn't give a crap.
Why did you kick me out?
Because I needed to talk and you were interrupting. No, what I was saying is he's proven that he doesn't give a crap about people. January 6th is a huge proof of that. Look how many dozens of people were hurt, one person killed. He doesn't give a crap. He could have stopped that. Ant banned himself. Yep. Gave himself the boot.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It just doesn't fit for me. It doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense.
He's proven that he does not. He'll do whatever he can. Doesn't care what's in his way.
No, but I think he took this stuff more for he's going to do whatever he wants. I don't think he took it because he wanted to sell it to somebody for millions of dollars.
So what's he going to do with it? If he's an ordinary citizen, what's he going to do with it? If he's returning to the White House in 2024, why does he have it now?
It's kind of like, I mean, you don't have kids, but you had nieces, right? You probably, like when you go, don't run with that. And then what do? They just run farther. They just run faster and farther away.
All right, so he's a child that doesn't listen.
I think once they were like, hey, you gotta bring that stuff back if you have it. And then he was like, man, fuck you. I ain't bringing anything back.
I think it's pronounced DEA. I totally agree. I am tired of Trump stories too, but when he keeps doing stupid shit like this, we have to talk about it.
I mean, it is the next story is not even close. Like, I mean, it's not even close as far as public interest right now. It's just not even close.
I mean, the number one thing is, how could that? What story is bigger than a former president stealing classified documents from the White House and not turning them over and the FBI raiding his house? Dia, thank you. It's pronounced Dia.
Oh, Dia. Well, either way, he doesn't go behind bars. I don't see it happening.
I know, and that's anybody else. I mean, if we're all equal under the law, then how could?
But what president is not? Even Biden. Well, first of all, I don't think if he ever got to the point where he was on trial, I don't think it would happen during Biden's time. But
It might if he goes another 4 years.
come on.
Just saying, if he does. We don't know what's going to happen in 2024.
No, I'll tell you what, though, there's a congresswoman who keeps on saying that he's not running again. She got twice off the record. She thought she was off the record. And twice she was like, oh, he's not going to run again. Like she knows.
Who's this? How does she
I don't know. I forget her name. It's out there. Somebody will come up with it. It's out there. But she keeps on doing it. She did it. And then she did it like 2 days later where she thought she was off the record again, saying like, oh, he's not going to run again.
How do you not know if you're on the record, or you just say this is off the record, and that's
people are stupid.
All right.
Well,
I'm amazed at how that works. You know how that's honored. You know, like has there ever been a case where people go, this is off the record, and the writer writes it anyway, or you know?
I don't think.
Like it's very honored, or otherwise no one would trust you, I guess.
Yeah, journalists have to kind of stick to that thing.
It's amazing, that honor system.
Yeah. It's funny. I will say that to people not journalists. I'm like, listen, this is off the record. You know,
and you're like, what record?
I don't know. I just want to just say it sometimes. Like, it's totally. Well, I feel like too, sometimes when I talk to other radio people, I will say that even though they're not journalists by any stretch of the imagination, they'll just
instead of saying this is between you and me.
Yeah, because sometimes I feel I feel an obligation to radio people to tell them the truth when I don't want it to be spread around like I'm spreading rumor.
Yeah, no,
like if there's a because there's that fine line of like, listen, I like you and I need to warn you of this, but I don't want everybody going around saying this obvious truth about this awful fucking person.
No,
you know what I mean?
I get it.
I'll do that from time to time. But like, this is off the record. This is just for you, just so you know.
I got you. Now with this Trump raid thing, was passports part of the topics?
Yep.
Okay, so bringing it up in the chat. I don't know if you want to jump to that yet.
Yes, let's jump to that. So anyway, the DOJ, to wrap that up, they don't want to disclose the affidavit. They say that if they did disclose it, they would have to redact it, and that a completely redacted affidavit would not serve any public interest whatsoever.
I think it would serve a little. I mean, if it's completely redacted, no.
I think you would see end the
yeah,
sincerely.
Probably. Yeah, how could, I mean, if it's all, not all, I think 11 things were classified or something out of 27 boxes. 11, I don't know if it was even boxes, but maybe it's just been files that were classified. But yeah, whatever the rest of it is, just give me the topics. What was it about? That's all.
All right.
So national security is about this. So passports, go ahead.
So let's do this in chronological order. On Sunday, Trump on Truth Social called for the Department of Justice to return the documents, which is
gotta give them back.
It's the most Trump move. Like, excuse me, please return those documents. Thank you.
I mean, what is that? The FBI took them. They're not gonna. They're not. Oh, sorry. Did we take these? I'm sorry. Here you go.
Well, he said, and I quote, "Oh, great. It has just been learned that the FBI, in its now famous raid of Mar-a-Lago,
who is he, Charlie Brown,
took boxes."
Good grief.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
It has just been learned that the FBI, it is now famous Mar-a-Lago, took boxes of privileged attorney-client material and also executive privileged material, which they knowingly should not have taken.
Nor should you.
By copy of this truth, which is his truth. I respectfully request that these documents be immediately returned to the location from where they were taken. Thank you.
That broke up a little at the end. But what is that? What the hell is that? By copy of this truth? No, that's not a thing. That's not a formal request. That's nothing. That's me saying it to someone in a coffee shop. That's not a formal request.
He did end by saying
this truth. Yeah.
He did end by saying thank you. I don't know if that got cut off.
Oh, that's nice.
He said, please return this to the location from which they were taken. Thank you.
Yeah, what a sweetheart.
Well, that was kind.
Yeah. Oh, good. Looks like they took five. Now, they took. Am I jumping ahead with the passports? Can I talk about the passports?
So here's the passports. Again on Truth Social, he said, "Wow." In the raid, you're right. He is talking. Oh, great! Wow.
Good grief.
Like I think he's saying it as he's learning it and he's sharing it with everybody. I guess.
He's either Charlie
Wow.
Brown or Eeyore.
In the
Oh,
raid,
good.
in the raid by the FBI of Mar-a-Lago, they stole my 3 passports, one expired in parentheses, along with everything else. This is an assault on a political opponent at a level never seen before in our country.
Yeah.
Third world.
No. What is that? You don't even know what you're talking about. You're not the president anymore. So you're an ordinary citizen. Once you were president, when you were president, you could have, you take documents where they need to go. You take them around. You need to look at them. But you're not president anymore. So you give them back. And why does he have 2 passports?
He's got 3.
Well, one's expired. Fine.
Yeah.
So I assume the 2 are not expired, active, for lack of a better word.
Well, I think you can have more than one passport because if you run out of space when they stamp it.
Is that what do you have to carry both, or you get the I don't know.
I think so.
All right. I'll give him he travels a lot, so that's plausible. But if that's the reason, a lot of people are questioning. Good people I know, they're questioning why I have 2 passports. But if he's got 2, he's got 2. It's a government passport and civilian passport.
Is that a thing? I don't even know. First of all, here's my first question. Do they even stamp a president's passport?
I'm sure they do.
Do they?
Yeah. Everybody has to come through.
And everybody's like, oh, they took his passports and now he can't travel. He travels in Air Force too, doesn't he not?
No.
Doesn't he get paid travel?
He doesn't travel in any I think he travels in his own shit.
No,
you don't get private whatever anymore. You do. You get security, but you don't get like Obama and Bush and Clinton. They don't have Air Force anything anymore.
I thought they did. I thought that was what Air Force 2 was. It was for the vice president and for the former president.
To carry them both around?
Well, I mean, there's several planes. I think that they.
No, Air Force 2 was whatever aircraft the vice president is in becomes Air Force 2.
Right. So, but Donald Trump could get on a Delta flight. I just don't.
He's not gonna, but
I don't think so.
He has his own plane. He has the Trump plane, whatever the hell he has.
Yeah. Well, no, I know that. I mean, and I know most of them can fly private, but I know that they also I know that they're also asked to do government business from time to time, and I thought that they had a fleet of airplanes for that.
Maybe if they need him to do something on behalf of the government, but if you're just doing, I don't think the taxpayers are paying for a former president to be flown around. I don't think that's the case.
Bird looked it up and said presidents have to have a passport too. I just find that hysterical that it's like, excuse me, have we stamped my passport before we leave? Can we make sure?
It's got to be official that you were here. It's proof that you were here. It's proof, that it's legal for you to travel here. If you don't have a passport, just like anybody, you can't go out of the country. You can't land in another country.
Do you know how many Air Force Ones there are?
How many?
3.
Are there?
There's an Air Force One, there's a backup, and then there's a holy shit plane.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, and the holy shit plane is like even more decked out in armor and anti stuff that's like when this shit hits the fan. I was watching this special on Bush 2 during 9/11, and they brought they were like, oh, are we gonna go in the holy shit plane because it feels, and they almost did.
Because I wonder what they call that. Holy shit plane's good enough. That would be the perfect word for it, or the perfect name.
Holy shit, we're going in the holy shit plane.
Yeah,
that's what you would say as you're walking in there, right?
I would imagine.
Yeah. Do you know the history of Mar-a-Lago?
No.
It's rather interesting. The people who make a Post cereal, they were the ones who built it.
Okay.
It's still to this day the second largest mansion in Florida, And I believe it's the 24th largest mansion in either the United States or the world. I think it's the United States. It's a big piece of property.
Now it's a resort, though, isn't it? It's not just a.
Well, but originally it was a house. So the people, and this is crazy, the Post family, they built it because they had envisioned it being the winter White House. Like they thought that they would donate it to the Parks Department, which they eventually wound up doing, so that the president of the United States could live there in the winter when the winters got too cold. Because it was built in like 1939 or 24 or something. It's crazy old.
I guess it eventually became the.
And it eventually, well, here's what happened though. They donated it to the Parks Department, and it was so big that they couldn't maintain it. It was too expensive to maintain.
Mhm.
So the
For the Post family?
No.
Oh, for the Parks Department.
Yeah, or the National Parks, whatever. It's not the Parks Department. It's the National Parks.
For the cast of Parks and Recreation. I got it.
So they couldn't handle it. They wound up giving it back to the Post family, I think, or it went up for auction. And guess who swooped in and bought it for $10 million?
Oh.
Frank.
I think we all know.
And so he renovated it. And contrary to the Ivana got buried on the course for tax purposes, he turned it into a resort because he doesn't have to pay certain taxes. He could live there, even though that wasn't his primary residence until he was president, and then he moved out of New York because of all the shit that was going on with New York. But anyway, having it be a resort as well now means that some of the stuff that he enjoys, he can write off as business expenses because he needs it to run the resort, but he lives there too.
It's so weird. Imagine you've been to resorts. So imagine you go to a resort and there's a person living there. Like you go there for vacation, there's hotel, there's maid service, all this stuff. And then you go down to like the restaurant, and then there's a guy like sitting in his bathrobe reading the paper. Like,
yeah.
He just lives here. Don't mind him. He lives here.
Yeah, and they supposedly live in a sectioned off area. I don't know where it is or how it all works, but the whole family lives there. The whole family's got their own little spots, including himself. Yeah.
Weird.
By the way, though, I mean, don't you want, that's like the dream. I would love to live in a hotel or a resort.
That is not, I've been looking up, well, not looking up. I've looked up when I first got into cruises. They have these, imagine living on a cruise and you just stop at different places. And, you have laundry, you have people, it's kind of like a hotel living at a resort. And you just travel in the world and you just live on the boat. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. I wonder, though, because you want to do it because you want to go on vacation. When you're in it, would it feel just like, oh, this isn't as fun as I want it to be?
No, it would be great. Because you got everything you need, number one. Number two, you got all the restaurants, you got the partying, you got the pools, you got different islands you stop at or wherever the hell the cruises go. So it'd be like a traveling resort that you're on, or whatever you decide to stay at.
All right. So today he said about the passports, and the other thing he said, it got a little dark here. It really got a little dark. He said in a Fox News interview, a Fox News digital interview, the country is in a very dangerous position. There is tremendous anger, like I've never seen before, over all the scams and this new one, years of scams and witch hunts, and now this. If there is anything we can do to help, I and my people would certainly be willing to do that.
To help with the scams?
Yes.
Make scams great again. We need the best scams, or we only have the best people who scam America.
The people of this country are not going to stand for another scam. I think they would want the same thing. I've never seen anything like this. It is a very dangerous time in our country.
He's playing the victim. He's just, I can't believe what they're doing to me. No, I know. I'm throwing in little tidbits here and there.
There has never been a time like this where law enforcement has been used to break into a house of a former president of the United States. and there is tremendous anger in the country at a level that has never been seen before, other than
Fucking
during
guy.
very perilous times.
Was that it?
Years of fake witch hunts and phony Russia schemes and scams, and they break into a president's house, sneak attack, where it was totally, no one ever thought a thing like this would happen. They could take anything they want. They could put anything they want in. My people were asked to stand outside.
Yeah. Welcome to an FBI raid. You're not allowed to hold their hand as they take your shit. Sorry. You imagine someone raids your house, the FBI raids your house, and they're like, "Oh, come with me. Help me pick out the stuff that you want us to take and not take." Oh, okay. It doesn't. I can't. It just doesn't work that way. And there's people in the chat. Let's see.
Cut the guy a break, Frank. He just wants what's best for all the Americans.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
Maybe you're anti-American.
Yeah, that's got to be what it is. Yeah, he wants the best for America. Yeah, he's looking out for them, for us. He's
all right, now
not himself.
Listen, I would say this guy's batshit crazy, but here I am in Long Island, and I turned on the news yesterday, and
That's your first mistake. No, what?
Actually, I shouldn't lie. I didn't turn on the news. I went to the deli to get bagels, and they had the news on. Right, it was News 12, which is our local, cable
Local
news
channel,
which is awful, but they do their best.
Okay.
And I see this story of a Trump rally. They had a Trump rally. Now I know about this because one of our friends put it in the group chat. Here's the invitation. I had seen it online. Then he put it in the chat. And the plan was to ride the LIRR from one spot to another and wind up at Eisenhower Park. Okay. So I see the news clip, and it's the first clip of the train station. And there's literally like 27 people there. And I went, wow, this really fizzled out. And then they showed what Eisenhower Park looked like. And there was 5,000 people there, maybe even more. Like, I couldn't believe how many people came out for this, for a rally to show President Trump support because his home had gotten raided. And the amount of people that showed up for this, my jaw hit the floor. It really did. Because, okay, listen, I understand and this is being fully understanding, Frank, of all of the rallies and the January 6th, having gone through all of that. When they showed the first clip, and I go, "Ooh, this really fizzled out." I kind of thought it would, and then they showed the second clip, and there was thousands of people there. I went, I cannot believe.
It doesn't make any sense to me. It boggles my mind how there are still people who not only support him. That boggles my mind to begin with, but not only support him, but would spend their whole day just at a rally that, number one, he's not even there, and number two, why? Like, who? I wouldn't go to a rally for Biden or pretty much anybody. I don't think, unless there was unless it's like a protest for something significant like a Roe v. Anything that is.
You wouldn't catch me at a rally for nothing. You would not catch
rallies.
me.
Why would I? Yeah, what is that?
At a rally for anything.
You're just talking. You're just I mean, I guess you want to be around people that are on your side, but I don't. Stupid.
But in a completely non-political manner, like it was like 81 and gorgeous on Long Island on Saturday. Like, I mean, perfect. Like, I would have been I just looked at them and I go, well, how are these people not at a beach?
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, okay, it's still a park. It's a nice day to be out. I get it, but
I understand going to support someone, but this is not that. I mean, if you want to go to, like Robin saying, I went to a Bernie rally. Great. Love it. Bernie's speaking at a rally. You want to go support him? Okay. But this is like, I mean, how many times does this guy need to prove that he doesn't give a shit about anybody? He does 99 things that proves I don't give a shit about anybody but myself. And then he'll get up on stage and go, but I love all of you. and then everybody goes, "Oh, well, he loves us." So it's obvious he loves us. So what are we talking about here? It's like, no, the 99 things prove that he doesn't give a shit. What are you
This was the
supporting?
thing. This was the thing on Facebook. The Loud Majority. That's the local group. No, I know some people in that group.
Ugh.
Stand with President Trump after the egregious FBI raid on his private home. Meet up at 10 at the Seaford train station and ride all the way to Eisenhower Park. Bring your own food and drinks, and let's peacefully and patriotically rally in solidarity with President Trump in the name of liberty and freedom. And thousands of people showed up. I don't understand it. I don't get it.
I understand. I don't understand the loyalty that this guy commands. I don't see what he.
I understand loyalty. That I get.
No, I get loyalty, but not loyalty to this guy. I don't get that. I get you're loyal to someone, you support someone, fine. But this guy, every other day, it's something that is so ridiculous that you go, there's never good news. There's never, oh, Trump was at a soup kitchen today, or Trump supported this charity, or it's always Trump did something fucking stupid, and we got to deal with it now. And that's what it is. A guy just can't be silent. So I take silent. I take him doing nothing, but everything that happens with him is just the opposite direction, and we're all just oh fuck, come on.
Do you think? But what is it? I would love to talk to somebody who's there. What is it? Do you think it's like loneliness? Is it just like, because I know that feeling like you're a part of something is a big part of being a human being. Like we want to feel like we belong. Which is why you have and like I'm a sports fan. I get it. Like I would do insane things for the Islanders. I would go to crazy parades and things like that. I just don't feel that way about politicians.
I get it. If let's say they're running for something and they're going to speak somewhere and it's a positive thing and you're in the area and you just want to stop by, show your support, fine. But this guy, I'm sorry. If he was a genuinely good guy, I'd be like, all right, that's great. But he's just a train wreck. Everything he gets involved in is just a disaster. And I don't understand why he gets all of this support when he just hasn't earned it.
Like I love the Mets, but I blow them off to go to the beach. Like I will just be like, eh.
Yeah, I love the Mets too. I've gone to one game in the last 2 years. I mean,
well, then do you really love the Mets? Because I've been to every home game.
Great, good for you,
including the one that's taking place right now.
Mm-hmm. I don't get the why. I don't understand.
Well, and then just this comment to go back to this, like terrible things. He said terrible things are going to happen in the U.S.
What does that mean?
Like if this keeps going on, I don't. I mean, I understand he thinks it's him against the world. I get that, and he's rallying his people, but I don't get saying terrible things are going to happen. Like, hasn't he learned enough?
No, this is what he does. He gets his people riled up until just something gives, and he doesn't care about the consequences. That's the point. He's not going out there saying, thank you everyone for your support. We're going to get through this together. Let's stay peaceful and be, we'll win the battles in the court. It's okay. We'll get through it together. No, it's terrible things will happen. We've never seen something like this before. It's so unfair, blah, 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 blah. And he just stokes this just unruly behavior.
So Miss Justice says it's a cult. And like, again, back to the things that I love the most, sports and all this and that. Even, there have been times that I just look at what my favorite sports team has done, or, somebody, whoever that I love. Like, okay, for instance, the time that Dave Matthews dumped 800 pounds of feces onto innocent people in the Chicago River there.
Yeah.
I can admit that was not a great look, and he's never publicly apologized for it. Okay,
Has he not really?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, if he did, I missed it. They've never really acknowledged that it's happened, but it fucking happened.
That's fucking
Like
crazy.
I could point to moments and I go, oh, okay, well, that's not that great, you know?
No, I feel like he had to have done an interview since then, and nobody's asked him about it.
I don't think anybody's really asked. I'd have to go back and see. I don't know if anybody's really asked him about it. You know, he doesn't do a lot of interviews.
Mm-hmm.
And when he does, it's only with select odd people. Here's the other thing, too. Like, they've gotten so big that they have their own channel on Sirius XM. So now all of his news and interviews kind of gets funneled through that. So if he's going to talk to somebody, he talks to a Sirius XM DJ.
See, here's how I would frame the question. I would say, listen, you've dumped hundreds of pounds of shit on people, unsuspecting people. And then you got on a tour bus and then let it out of the bus onto a boat. What's the deal with that?
No. It's this. This is how you screwed it up. You go, listen.
All right.
I understand that you've dumped tons of shit on people. And after 20 years of records, then you literally released feces on their heads.
That's the phrasing.
Yeah.
All right. It takes a couple of drafts, but I get it.
I have to write all the
Look at that. I don't think he's coming on the show anytime soon.
You
know what? If he ever did, I would be very respectful. I went
to I don't want to tell this story. I went to what up, Jay Sabs? When I went to
God.
It's the first story, by the way.
Now we're kind of talking about Dave. When I went to Farm Aid.
How are you on a first name basis with him? Dave Matthews is who we're talking about.
Who else would he be talking about?
Yeah.
It could have been someone we know named Dave.
When I went to Farm Aid, we're in the press area and they go, sign up for who you want to interview, right? So there was a bunch of people there, Neil Young and all the Farm Aid people. So his was like the longest. But we were like 5th on the list, maybe, or 6th on the list. Mm-hmm. I was like, fuck, this might happen. He literally spoke to one person, I think. And they weren't even on the list. It was fucking Rolling Stone magazine. Like,
I was Rolling Stone magazine not on the list.
Well, no, because they were like, oh, they're not doing any more interviews. And so somebody went over and grabbed the list and go, you didn't even scratch your name. We're all fucking sitting here. Oh. And they were like, who did he talk to? And somebody was like, oh, Rolling Stone. And that was it.
So what was the point of the list?
It was a big fucking huge waste of time. It was a huge waste.
It was let's say there's a list to keep these people occupied waiting for nothing.
Basically. Yeah. And basically that was it. And then this one guy was like, I just want to interview Willie Nelson. I've tried like 19 times and here I am. And I'm like, oh my God.
Give her an interview already.
Willie Nelson wouldn't even fucking let anybody take a picture of him.
Oh, Willie.
Probably because he was so high.
Yeah. I mean, he was just old. But there was like, because we had access to like the pit area, so you can go in there and take pictures. And Willie was like, no pit area for Willie. He's too up there. But I will say he fucking he closed the show, Willie. I didn't think he could do it, but he did.
Guy's a legend.
Not him, it's a body double.
It's a legend for a reason, man.
Might have been his body double.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait. Actually, you know what? Never mind. Go ahead.
No, please.
I was gonna say Trump raid. Is it the same? It's the same, the FBI thing, right? Or is it something else? Because I have not listened to anything else. I have not listened to any kind of news or anything.
Go back and watch the last 40 minutes of the show.
Okay. It's all that.
Yeah, I don't need that.
There's 2 more small parts to it, which we'll do right after we tell everybody about Jumpstart coffee. I had another debacle with Dunkin' Donuts. Can I tell you?
When are you going to have a buckle?
Saturday. They're such fucks. Saturday, we went to the party. I was a little tired. Obviously, couldn't have any Jumpstart. Why don't all of our friends have Jumpstart? Have we thought about is that on me?
That's on you.
That's on you.
Okay.
Yeah, I totally blame you.
I should be like the You know how the president sweeps areas that he goes to visit? I should sweep areas with Jumpstart Coffee when we go places.
I don't think it's all on you, because if our friends, were real friends, they'd watch the show. And
exactly. I was just going to say, first they would have to actually watch the show to be considered friends.
And they would support us by
instead of scumbags
supporting good old Jumpstart.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? I swear to you, there was a moment on Saturday where at least 3 of our friends at different times quoted something from the show. So I was like, oh.
Really?
No way. No
Sure.
way. No.
I could tell you who.
Believe it. I know, right? Damn.
I'll tell you who the biggest support. Go ahead. Say.
Yeah,
yes.
my sister-in-law.
Yeah, loves it.
She watches the show all the time.
That's why
Does
she's
she
my
actually
favorite.
Really do? Does she really?
She's my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised too, but she does.
I love her more than the people on this show.
Huh?
What?
Oh, we always.
Where was I going with this? Oh, so I'm fucking exhausted. I'm like, I got to get a coffee. The only thing there is Dunkin' Donuts. So I go on the app, which I haven't used in a while, and I order a thing. Store closes at 9 o'clock. 8:15, I put the order in. 8:30, I arrive at the Dunkin' Donuts. Closed.
See?
Second time that has happened to me at that location.
What the hell is that?
Guess what? They probably, because of, Schmovid, they some of them started closing at 7.
That's fine, but update your site or whatever.
Which I'm against. Didn't want to. Even if you have a fucking asshole employee that is going to be like, fuck this, I'm leaving, and closes the place early. Okay, fine. Turn the fucking thing off that says order,
I like how you think it's a little switch.
Turn the switch off.
Just flick the switch. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a major metropolitan area. I can't imagine. I mean,
so what happens? Did you get charged for that?
Yeah. Then you got to write a fucking email to them and be like, all this shit. And then they're like, oh, we credited, they go, we credited your account. You should see it. And I'm looking and I'm like, I don't see it. So now I got to fucking write them again. It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
That's great. I'm sorry, but that's fucking funny. 8:30, I get there, closed.
It's fucking closed as fuck. Dude, it wasn't even like, oh, they must have just closed. Like that shit was closed for at least an hour.
There's plywood on the windows.
It was fucking closed.
Nobody's been there for days.
Now, Janine, answer me honestly. From 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock in that area, how many fucking orders do you think they must get?
Oh, I'd say at least.
I'm surprised they closed.
72.
I thought Dunks usually.
That was very specific.
Thank you.
I thought Dunks were 24 hours mostly.
Not since COVID. Not since the pandemic. They've been closing early.
Maybe.
Yeah. Anyway,
by me is 24 hours.
I didn't get it. I risked my family's life and drove home anyway. And no, I tell you what, I stopped at McDonald's then for coffee because I was desperate. I don't know what dirt, vile garbage that they're. I think when you buy a McDonald's coffee, you just literally are like, just give me dirt filtered water in a cup. That's.
Oh yeah, that's why. That's how desperate you were. You went there for coffee. I get it.
I've never had a McDonald's coffee, but I've always heard that they were okay. No, this is bad.
It's all right. I mean, it's not Jumpstart is the point.
No,
once you go
down this road,
yeah,
nothing else like it.
What's better coffee, McDonald's or 7-Eleven?
Oh, people love 7-Eleven coffee. I've never had it ever.
I've never had either, but I've always heard McDonald's wasn't bad, but I've never had it.
Give me the old espresso blend any day of the week. Jumpstart, I'll tell you what, best coffee I've ever had.
Good stuff, baby.
I'll tell you what, don't buy Jumpstart Coffee Company if you don't want them to ruin other coffees for you for the rest of your life, because that's exactly what's going to happen.
It's all good. Good stuff, man.
When you have the best, you just can't settle for anything else. This is what my wife says about me.
Well, I'm going to need proof of that. I'm going to need her on the show.
It's a lot of silence after that comment. Yeah. Order your Jumpstart with a link in the description below. Use the promo code AWAY15, say 15% off, which doesn't affect the 50% that goes over to our Navy SEAL Foundation.
Good stuff here.
Starbucks pockets their money, their fucking coffee. They're like, thanks a lot.
And they're not that big with from what I understand, the unions and the.
They're not big with unions. I believe they spit on the military when they show up at a Starbucks, but I can't.
That's not nice. That's not.
I just heard reports. People tell me.
Not confirmed.
Yeah. Anyway, damn it. Let's finish these last two things.
Oh God! And I'm just making a quick appearance. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go quick, Gene. I know
What
you don't
she
like
said.
this stuff. I'm gonna move fast. Laura Ingraham today did an interview, and she said that it might be time to turn the page on Trump. She says, and I quote, "People conflate Trump with people's overall sense of happiness in the country. Donald Trump's been a friend of mine for 25 years, and I'm always very open about this on my show. But we'll see whether that's what the country wants. The country, I think, is so exhausted. They're exhausted by the battle, the constant battle, that they may believe that, well, maybe it's time to turn the page if we can get someone who has Trump's policies who's not Trump," which is what we've kind of been saying. Wait for it. Part 2 of this.
Well,
Donald Trump gets a 10-point bump over Ron DeSantis among GOP primary voters after a Mar-a-Lago FBI raid, which he brands an abuse in law enforcement. So they did a poll. Obviously, they've been polling voters, non-Republicans, Republicans. And in this poll with him versus Ron DeSantis, after Mar-a-Lago, he got a 10-point bump.
Hey, let those two battle it out. It gives it, either way. Yeah, Trump is a nightmare, but
but it's working. That's what's insane.
I know.
It's fucking working. He's not stupid. He knows what he's doing. All right, let's
why can't he just stop? Just go away, please. For once, she's right. We're all tired of him.
For once, she's right.
For once, she's right.
The Anne Heche shit. Have you heard about her family history?
No, you brought this up before. I don't know. Apparently, this is some crazy shit.
Her mom.
Her mom. You know about this?
Mm.
How fucking sick is this? Her mom's 85 years old. She's super religious. She has outlived her mom. Mama Heche has outlived 4 out of her 5 children.
Yep.
So
4 out of her 5 children are dead. Yeah.
Oh.
Isn't that fucked up?
That is fucked up.
She was married to Donald Heche, her mom. Donald Heche turns out gay.
Secretly.
Gets the AIDS, dies in 1983.
Damn. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Damn. That's the year to die from it. Yep.
Is he the father of all the 4 or 5 kids?
I believe so.
Probably
yes.
Not.
Probably
not, though.
She wrote about this in her religion-heavy memoir that came out in 2006 called "The Truth Comes Out When Someone You Love Is in a Same-Sex Relationship." I don't know how good the rest of the book could have been with a fucking title like that.
That's the title?
That's the shittiest title I've ever read in my life.
You think the editors would have been like, maybe, condensed that a little bit into a few words?
Yeah. In that book, she admitted to using amyl nitrate poppers with her husband.
Say anal. Go ahead.
Yeah. What's amyl? AMYL. Fuck is that? I don't know.
I'm sure it's some chemical of some kind. I don't know.
Amyl nitrate poppers with her husband to improve their sex life while they took on married lovers.
So they definitely had anal. That's why people take poppers. Go ahead.
A lot of
Not
swingers.
that I would know. Not that I would know.
When did swinging come into fashion? Because the guy died in 83. So you're talking about this.
Well, swinging, I feel like, was always a thing. People have been swinging forever.
Times, my friend.
Right.
But like in the sexual liberation of the 60s and 70s, okay. But do you think like people in the 30s were swinging?
Sure. I'm sure maybe the numbers weren't as high as they are in different generations, but I'm sure there was a little of that.
That's like my question of, do you think people were having sex before marriage as much as people do now?
Yeah, I do.
You do?
Yeah, I do. Maybe not at the rate. Maybe not at the rate that people were now, but I think it was definitely happening.
It was definitely happening, but that's her question was as much as they are today. And no, I don't think it's as...
No. Do you think that people were shaving their pubic regions as much as they do today. Back in the
No.
20s.
Not according to the porn I've seen.
And I wonder why. Why is that?
I don't know.
What
That's
made
the
that?
fashion.
What do you think? Someone just was like,
Why do
wow,
people
you
have?
know what? How's this look?
Why do people wearing giant bell bottoms and huge, huge hair and all that? It was the fashion of the time, I guess. It's the trends that people were doing.
That's so strange. There's a great scene in The Wolf of Wall Street where Leo DiCaprio is talking to his dad, and he goes, one day everybody just woke up and they had just shaved nothing down there. He's like, they're bald from their eyebrows down, and he points at his eyebrows. And he's like, really? He's like, yeah, everything is gone. It's like all lasers, he says. But it's true. That's kind of what happened. Like one day, it's just like that. Everything was gone. It's weird.
That's the style of the time, I guess. That's what it is.
And if there was a time to shave those bushes, it was like back before you had that air conditioner. You know what I'm saying? That's like, that. I feel like they should have.
I wonder what the trends were. I mean, we know, I guess, the trends from the past, 40, 50 years? But before that, like in the early 1900s, what was the...
Did that?
How so. When did they get into that?
I think everyone's mother in this chat shaves their bush, but that's just my thing.
Well,
especially...
No.
Okay, do you remember...
There's no way my mother does. There's no way.
Oh, stop it. I can't. No. Okay, so you remember I went on that ghost tour in Philadelphia a couple months ago.
Somebody showed you the bush. Go ahead.
Well, this was not only a ghost tour; it was a history kind of thing about that area. And we went by these this plot of land, that was there were a lot of brothels around.
Ooh.
And she said that a big thing back then were what do they call it? Merkins?
Yep.
The wigs, because women would get like crabs or lice or whatever it is, and they would have to shave everything and then put a pubic wig on. So that
are you for real?
Yeah, that was that's how they started.
Jesus.
And that's where we get the term beaver from, because they used to use beaver hair to make the wigs. This is her. The woman who gave us the tour was telling us this. So
with the straight face.
Yeah, she's this little old lady. She had to be 75, 80 years old.
Oh my God!
Walking us around Philadelphia,
so she could be friends with me. What?
And she actually handed out. She was passing around samples, Merkins.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she's like, these are what they are.
Put it on there?
I don't think I touched them. They were on like a board, and I was like, okay, thank you.
I'm
sure they weren't used.
Take a whiff of this. What does this smell like? Oh,
yeah. See,
I tell you what, that is ballsy, because razor technology really hasn't come into its own until recently.
This is true.
I mean,
you're taking an old school razor to down there.
That takes a steady hand.
Ow.
God bless you.
That's a surgeon's hand, surgeon's accuracy.
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you've heard of European Wax Center, right?
Sure.
European Wax Center?
Yeah, it's a place where you get waxed.
You get wax.
All over.
Body hair. Yeah. Okay. European Wax Center. You never heard of that?
Is it like a chain?
Yeah, it's a chain.
Okay.
Well, they now have an option for Brazilians for men. And would you guys ever do that?
Frank, let's go get our assholes shaven together. Come on, buddy.
I was just waiting for them to lift that restriction. I'm there, baby. Let's go.
We've been through so much.
So, I mean, I don't know if I can handle that. That seems. I mean, I'm sure it's extraordinarily painful. I don't know how women do that, but I've got my eyebrows waxed, and it's painful. I don't know about that area.
Oh, stop.
I mean, it's painful, but it's tolerable on the eyes. But I can't imagine down there.
Some people like that pain. I'm not, just people that I know. They like that pain.
Oh.
No, I was going to say, I don't think the asshole is so bad. I would imagine the bottom of your ball bag would be the painful spot.
I think both are ill-advised.
Really?
I'm not ill-advised. You can do what you want, and I'm sure it's fine if you could but I'm sure both areas are going to be painful.
So I'm just looking for you guys because it says for guest with a penis, as much or as little as you want off the front, includes bikini line and butt strip. So, yeah.
Man, those are brave workers. How much are they getting paid? Because it's not enough.
Take a guess how much that costs.
Oh my God. I didn't think of that somebody has to sit there and wax a man's asshole.
And taint and ball bag.
Jesus, you can't tip enough for that. Forget what the cost is. You can't leave enough of a tip for that.
You have to double whatever the cost is. That's the tip. Just the tip.
Imagine you left them just a bag of that coffee.
Yeah,
that would be nice.
That is a good one.
All right, now I want to guess this because I literally have no clue. Like I don't even know.
Throw some guesses in the chat. We got Bird saying $150. Paul is saying
50.
Paul's saying 500. Robin saying 350.
All right, now can I know what a girl's Brazilian wax costs? Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. What is a girl's cost?
70.
Okay. I'd say at least double.
I was gonna say like at least 225 for a guy. Has to be 225.
I'm going 150. I'll go with.
You want to know how much it is?
How much?
Don't tell me it's like $90.
It's the same exact price.
Oh my God! How?
Oh, those poor workers.
How? It smells so much worse.
How do you know?
It does. It just doesn't matter what or who we're talking about. A man's asshole smells worse than a woman's asshole.
Our noses are just a few feet away from our own. Just letting you know.
Let me tell you something. I would put a homeless woman who hasn't showered in years. I'd put her asshole up against Brad Pitt's asshole, and hers would probably be better.
Really? Okay. That's what you think. All right.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's got to be. They got to make a ton of money, and if they don't, I don't know. What are we're failing them as a society.
Remember, it's a chain.
I get that.
So
remember, it's a guy's nether region.
You don't think a guy is gonna take a full shower before they go there?
You'd like to think they would, but that's not a guarantee.
If the three of us go,
correct.
If the three of us go, do you think we could get it for $2 flat? I think they shave $10 off.
Hey-o.
But what Bird said, women get funky too. So she probably knows, right? But of course, this comes up on my TikTok where there's waxers who give out secrets of people that come in. They
tell you horror stories.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh. How could I don't like? I feel like a doctor needs to do that. Not just some person that you hire and gets $15 an hour. I need a medical professional
down
down
there. Paid? What are they getting paid for this?
I really don't know. I have no idea how much they get paid, but
I'm sure they get good tips. Ew.
What? Ew. Raven just wrote something.
Go ahead, Frank. It's your turn to read the comments.
Oh, come on. All right. Raven says, grossest thing I've seen was a lady check her private smell with her hand while working at a Tim's.
That's one way to put it.
Oh.
What's a Tim's? Is that like a Tim Hortons?
Oh, maybe.
I don't know. That's terrible. I'm never eating at a Tim Hortons again.
There you go. Misfit Madness. I shave, wax my own shit. There you go.
That takes, I'd need at least 4 mirrors to do that. Otherwise, it's
bending over one, definitely.
It's going to be patchwork at best.
Raven, you know what's funny? The only time I've ever been in Canada was in Moncton, and I went to a Tim Hortons there, and he just wrote, was in Moncton, and scared me bad.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh.
No.
That's awful. So, you saw that happen. And what?
Great. Of course, the only one I ever went to. Go ahead.
Raven, what you got to tell us. What did you, I don't know if do you say something in that situation? or do you just turn around and leave?
You vomit and then walk out.
Do you talk to the manager?
You say
glove or no glove?
How's that flavor?
Raven says it was about 10. It was like 10 years ago, and that she's sorry for bringing it up.
Kev, I would go with a bad case of swamp ass. See, here's the thing: if you're talking about a man getting this between the months of March and November,
yeah,
they have swamp ass. There's instant swamp ass, even if they've just taken a shower.
It's got to be a Christmas present, or it's going to be a disaster area down there.
Unless you're in Moncton, and then that's I don't know what there's no humidity there.
We got a lot of Australian viewers and listeners, so our summer is their winter. So I'm sure.
There you go. It's the opposite.
August is going to be fine.
Miss Justice, there is a Tim Hortons in Queens, in New York.
There's one out here on Long Island.
Oh, yeah, really? I haven't seen one out here.
Yeah.
But I wonder about that, if that's the genuine thing, or are they just doing their best with what they have around here?
Okay, so Raven says that she was walking by and saw it through the window.
Boom.
Yeah, what did you even say to that?
She dropped and broke her favorite sunglasses when she saw it. That's disgusting.
I'll tell you what you say. You walk in there and you ask her out, because if she's willing to do that in public, God knows what she's willing to do in private. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's a theory.
Mm-hmm. Alec Baldwin pulled the trigger that killed the young lady on that Rust film, says the FBI.
See, now how do they know? How can they actually prove this?
Well, they said they tested the gun, the type of gun. I don't know if they actually got the exact gun that he used, or if they got the exact type of gun. Did they say what it was? That if they used it, because they ran all these tests of with the gun ready to fire, with this and that, and things jolting into it, and all this stuff, and they concluded that there was no way it could have fired without the trigger being pulled. Right?
Correct.
So they ran all these bunch of jarring tests. You know, they knocked the gun around that. So it's ready to fire, and then it didn't go off, I guess. But question is a couple of questions. One, did they use the exact gun? Maybe there's something wrong with the gun that he used. Two, why was there a live round in it? You know, those are two questions that also need to be answered, I think.
I thought he said that someone else pulled the trigger, or did he say that it just went off? He
said he was holding it, and he cocked the hammer back, and then he let the hammer go. He didn't pull the trigger. The hammer, like he uncocked the hammer, and that's what fired it.
I don't know. Okay.
So they said you have to pull the trigger, but maybe something's wrong with the gun. Who knows? I want to believe that he didn't. I can't believe that he would do something like that on purpose.
Well, there's no way he did it if he did it, it's definitely on accident.
It had to be some kind of accident.
There's no way.
Yeah, I think everybody knows it was an accident.
But they're still investigating it, obviously, and the big question: did they investigate the actual gun?
The FBI did a forensic. It was a forensic investigation. So, isn't forensic when you rebuild it? You rebuild the scenario.
Yeah, but again, are you using the type of gun, or are you using the exact gun? Because there could be something wrong with that specific weapon that he had in his hand.
I'm not sure. They're not going to release the full findings until after they get. There's one thing that they're waiting on. This was obtained by ABC, so they got this earlier than they were supposed to.
Okay, yeah, and again, why was there a live round anywhere near? I'm sure they had it when they test. I don't know. I can't imagine why there would be live rounds anywhere near a movie set.
Well, they said the armorer maybe was off shooting with the gun, doing like target practice or whatever, while everybody was off on their like lunch break, and that maybe she didn't empty the gun before she gave it back to him.
Oof.
What's crazy is that the crew of this film threatened to walk off because of her, the armorer, and the assistant director, because there was complaints against them for unsafe work conditions in the past. And I guess whatever was going on this particular production, they were like going to walk off
Wow.
just prior to this actually happening.
Did anybody walk off? Did anybody leave?
No, they didn't.
They didn't. They decided not to.
What's crazy to think, though, is that if they did, this fucking woman might be alive today.
Yeah,
Maybe
really.
if they stopped production, sure. But
what's super fucked up is like they were friends. This wasn't the first movie he did with her. Like they knew each other for a long time.
yeah.
But I don't want to say too much because when Janine shoots Frank or vice versa, I feel like this is all going to come back to me. So
right. All coming back to me now.
So I'm gonna stay out of it, but I feel bad. But he is, by the way, under investigation. Like even though this might be an accident, they might, who knows?
I don't know. I mean, there had to be, with all the cameras around, there wasn't something rolling where they could see exactly what happened during that moment.
Well, it was a rehearsal take, and they were just trying to figure out. He was trying to figure out where to point the gun so that it would look like, you know, that's what they were doing. So he was really moving his hand like this, like that, like it. And she was telling him because she was right next to the camera looking at a monitor. She wasn't looking at him. She was looking at a monitor. That's why it went through her side and then into the director's shoulder.
Jeez.
Which is kind of crazy. But her family is suing the fuck out of him and everybody else involved in the production.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We're
losing you. We're losing you.
Oh, sorry.
There you're back. Thank you, Misfit Madness, for the super chat. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And what he said before is true. A smooth sack is a happy sack. Or something.
Tell
like
that to the sack.
Right.
Yeah, not at first.
Yeah, at first.
They're pretty aggravated.
I'm sure the sack is red with anger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, give me the over-under. Is Alec Baldwin going to jail for this? Yes or no?
I don't think so. I mean, I have to imagine it's an accident, and I can't. How could they prove otherwise? If they prove it otherwise, I don't see how. But
the only thing I can think of is if he didn't, why didn't he check it? I don't know if he's supposed to.
Yeah, I don't think he is.
I mean, they say he's not supposed to. They handed him the gun. They said it was cold. He knew it was cold. Everybody acknowledged on the set it was cold. That's why they were pointing it at the camera, you know. But you don't look at it. You know, you don't take a look.
I wonder how often a prop gun or whatever on set with blanks accidentally goes off.
That we just don't hear about?
Yeah, it just fires, but it's a blank, so it doesn't matter. But how often is it?
Frank, do you know about shooting blanks or no?
I hope not.
I think so.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. I have no comeback for that.
No, you don't.
All right, let's talk about something that Frank might cry during this segment. James Hetfield, lead singer of Metallica, is getting a divorce from his wife for over 2 decades.
25 years they've been married.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's almost as long as Janine's been married to her husband. What have you guys been doing? 16 years?
We're 16 years married, but been together since 1998.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
Well, let's see. I think
that's 24 years.
I know, it's almost 20. Yeah, exactly.
You're a year after James Hetfield.
Yeah. So yeah, they got married in 97. I think.
Why don't like he just do the same thing, like us, like what we do, and also a lot of other people just stay together because no one else wants to go out and get someone else.
Oh, I'm sure that's not. I wonder what happened because they said it was they were separated since like the beginning of the year. I think this year. Yeah, but they just made it public and just filed the paperwork recently, and also beginning of the year or halfway through the year, maybe that had something to do with it. James comes out at a concert. You know, remember that? I don't know. That made the news a little bit where he was like, you know, I was backstage and I was doubting myself. I didn't want to come out. And I was whatever. And then the guys kind of helped me. Maybe that was part of it. Maybe that was him having a little, you know, because going through something because of his divorce.
Here's what I don't understand. And he's been quoted in interviews because he's had drug issues, right? So
yeah,
he said during an interview once that his wife threatened to throw him out, or I think did throw him out.
He has
And
anger issues. He had anger issues.
He's had anger
temper.
issues. He's an alcoholic, all that, drug addict. And so, but that was part of the thing that got him clean, was that he was afraid to lose his wife.
Ooh.
Right.
And now here we are, and they're getting divorced. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know how that breakdown happens where I can't lose. This is the most important thing in the world to me, we're getting divorced.
Well, he went through rehab years ago. Got to be what, 15 years now? Whatever Saint Anger came out, I can't remember. And then he relapsed a couple of years ago recently. He was I think before COVID, he went back into rehab, and then he came back out. And then I'm sure it's probably not the drugs and alcohol and stuff coming into the marriage. It was probably his anger. I think that was what I read, that it's mostly about his temper. He has anger issues. So I don't know.
We'll have to ask Jean's husband about that, what it's like to live with somebody with anger issues.
Right?
You definitely should.
Yeah, not sure, but 25 years they were together. They have a few kids together.
3 kids. That's the thing. 3 kids, all that baggage, back and forth.
Yeah.
I don't know how it happens. I just feel like there's got to be a way to figure it out, but I guess not.
Yeah.
I guess that there's not. I wonder if we have another Gabby Petito on our hands. Have you heard about this? Kiely Rodni?
No.
What is this? Who is this?
Young lady, been missing for a week now. There's some new footage of her out. She's from California. She went to a party, called her mom, told her she would be home. She was leaving, be home in 45 minutes. That was a week ago.
Oh,
jeez.
She was seen at an end of school party near a family campground in Truckee, California, just north of Lake Tahoe, in the early hours of August 6th. The sheriff's office said yesterday it found footage of Rodni early at the party wearing a pink and white sweatshirt with the words "Odd Future," the name of a hip hop band, across the whole entire thing. It wasn't clear if she was still wearing the sweatshirt when she went missing, the sheriff's office said. Authorities revealed last week that Rodni had borrowed another hoodie at the party with a Lana Del Rey lyric on it that said, "You don't want to be forgotten, you just want to disappear." The frantic search for the teen entered its second week, and the Nevada County Sheriff's Office, which is assisting in this search, said her cell phone was last pinged at about 12:30 a.m. on August 6th near Prosser Lake, a man-made reservoir that surrounds the campground.
Oh, man.
Her car, a silver Honda CRV, is also missing.
Yikes. Okay, so they have the last ping cell phone. I'm sure that they did a search of that whole area, but so they have the ping of the last where it was, and then her car is missing. That's her car?
Her car is missing as well. Authorities said they have received 1,200 tips so far, and one that turned into a dead end over the weekend. Crews spent Saturday digging at a burial site based on one tip, but it only ended up discovering the remains of a dog.
Ooh, okay.
Man, so it's insane. I don't know how accurate this is. This could be just a internet thing that you just run into. But there was a map of America, and it has like dots where the most people are missing, and then it showed another map, and it had dots where the most caves are in America, and they were like almost identical, which is very strange. I don't know. I just found that to be a weird coincidence, like where the most people go missing and where the most caves are, and that's where they. I don't know if that's I don't know why I brought that up. It's just a weird. I just found that weird that
I think you brought it up because you want somebody to go look in the cave for the missing people.
Maybe, I don't know. I just think that doesn't help. That
I can't believe nobody put that together yet, Frank.
Oh,
again,
God.
What?
He's fucking with you.
I'm just saying it's a weird map to see. It's like, holy shit, what the fuck? I'm just saying a lot of people go missing around these things. But this, I didn't hear this. How old? Teenager?
Yeah.
Okay.
Teenager.
Damn.
I think she's 17, 18 maybe.
And there's no leads, no nothing. They're not. I'm sure they're still looking. The search is still continuing.
16 years old.
Okay. That's terrible.
Yep. So we'll keep our eye out for Kiely. Excuse me.
Kiely Rodni.
Kiely Rodni. This is a quick one before we get to the last story. There's this pedophile, right? So they're sentencing him.
Yeah.
He's in court. He drinks this bottle of water, chugs this bottle of water, which later on they were like, oh, it kind of looked a little cloudy. What's happening?
I don't
know. We just lost Janine. I think she's watching another podcast.
All right. I think, we lost Jay Sabs a minute there.
Chugs a bottle of water. Shortly after, in the holdover cell, he starts vomiting. Emergency services were called. He's dead.
So he suicided.
Yeah.
All right. So, what I saw was...
Or did somebody in the victim's family
drop something in the water?
Yeah.
Maybe. Who the hell knows? I mean, they have to... Obviously, I'm sure there's footage of where he got the water, in the courtroom, or who gave him the water and whatnot. But from what I understood, he drank it as soon as he heard the guilty verdict.
Well, yeah, he was drinking it as they were reading it out.
Right.
Yeah, they get you throw a little bottle of water on the table. A little water for the table.
That's not the water you want for the table.
No, it's not.
No.
All right, last one. I found this to be super interesting. I believe I shared this with both of you. This ties into J Sabs and my experience from over the weekend. This guy decided this was his whole thing, that he was going to build a virtual time machine. So he wore glasses with cameras in the lenses for an entire year. And not just regular, those undercover glasses, camera, like VR glasses.
Yeah, it gets like a 360 or something.
It filmed 360 around him. He wore it every day for a year. He recorded his entire life in 360 every day for a year. I think he said he had some sick terabyte amount of, it was like 64 terabytes of storage.
I can't imagine. You think it's 24 hours, or he shut it off while he slept, or?
I don't know. I think he just kept it running.
Wow.
I don't know. He didn't specify. But even if you were just recording for 12 hours a day in high def 360, that takes an enormous amount of, do you know the undertaking that is?
That's got to be an expensive. Well, not only just to store that much memory. Now you're building a VR machine, whatever the machine is going to be.
Yeah. So now he's taken all the footage and he's put it all together so that he can put on his little VR goggles and shit and literally go back in time and live in he can go back and visit himself, walk around in and live in the time that was in the past. Yeah,
but is it just going to be, it's basically he's just watching a home video of his experience in a 360 thing. It's going to go wherever he went. He can't control where he goes, right? In the present. I mean,
it can only go where first of all, welcome aboard, Anna. We love you too.
Hey, welcome.
Second of all, it's not like he can choose to go to Dallas if he was in San Francisco. But it is true, he can go to wherever he was and walk around in that world. Because if it was captured by the camera, he could walk around in it.
All right, so he goes to the grocery store and he only goes up aisle 10 and leaves. Can he now go up? He could go around that whole, or he can only go through where his camera has been, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But he can go there at any time, or he can go there only when the camera went there. Like if I was, let's say, I don't know, Tuesday, February 1st, whatever. I don't even know if that was a Tuesday.
He could only go when the camera was there.
So he could only visit that Tuesday, that February day. He can't go back to that spot and see what it was like in March. It's just his experience.
Anne Heche It's just a rerun.
It's just a rerun, basically. It's basically a it's a home movie in 360 degrees. It's his home movie.
But technically, Anna's correct. He could relive his own ass waxing. So.
That's true. But can he relive the pain of it?
Probably not.
I mean, he could put himself there, but I don't know.
But it brings up an interesting thing. And this might have hit me because over the weekend, Janine and I, at this party that we went to that Frank refused to go to.
I told you, I don't like you people.
There was a Oculus 2, one of these virtual reality things that Facebook makes, and we got to put it on. I have footage of JSABs, which I'm going to put in the members only area. It was the most unbelievable thing that I'd ever been a part of. I've never experienced anything like this before in my life.
Those seem really cool. I think what this guy is doing, like if he went to this one spot, like if he went to a town square and he only walked through the middle, is when he goes back in time to revisit that spot, in his virtual reality footage, can he only walk through the middle, or can he now veer off and go to different spots?
And he can only go where the camera.
You can only go where the camera went. Okay,
yeah.
so it's just a rerun. It's just what Angie said. It's a rerun of what he did.
Yes, but I think what's interesting about it is you don't remember every single second of your life. You know what I mean? You just remember certain things. So to be able to go back randomly to a date and time, and I don't think people understand this. If you've never worn one of these things, I don't think you could fully grasp it. It's not like you're just watching yourself. You're literally there and you can walk around. So he could literally look at himself sleeping in a bed.
But that's the question. The cameras are on his head looking at him.
But it records everything as close and as far as away as it can.
Right, of course. So all right, so let's say again, he's standing in the middle of Citi Field at a Mets game. Now he's there in that area. He's sitting in a certain seat. He gets up and he leaves. Now, if I was that person, can I go back to that day and do something else other than the actions that he did? Like, can I sit a couple of rows forward?
No. Well, yes. He could sit a couple of rows in front. And he could turn around and look back at himself.
See, what I'm picturing is like when you see on Facebook, people have those 3D, not 3D, 360 kind of panoramic photos.
Mm-hmm.
And you just turn your phone and you can follow it. That's what I'm picturing. But
it's not like that because you are literally in it. Okay, now Janine and I did this, and our dickhead friend, the first thing he does is puts us in this world. We put the fucking thing on. We both did the same thing at different times, but he puts the fucking thing on you, and you're like half in an elevator. And he goes, go in the elevator and press this button. And so you go in the elevator.
I think I know what's going to happen here.
And you press the button. The fucking thing opens. And what is in front of you is just a single plank, single piece of wood. And you look out and you are just on like the 400th floor. And there's just this massive city in front of you. And you look down and there's nothing but this plank of wood. And then just a huge drop. And we're in the living room. And he tells you, go ahead, step out there. Can I tell you, I could not do it. I couldn't fucking put my feet forward. No.
Guess what? As ballsy as I am, I could not do it either.
Really?
Could not do it. I have a fear of heights anyway.
Yeah, but if you're...
No.
Really? It was that convincing, that real?
Yep.
It didn't look like you were in a video game? It looked very real?
It's fake, but you cannot move your feet to that plank.
Wow. Now
it's the strangest thing ever. Like, you're in a fucking living room,
right?
If you step out, nothing is going to happen to you.
But know that your view now is going to be that of someone falling if you fall.
Yeah.
That's scary. I could see that. But
because what's weird is, Frank, I swear to God, and like you look around and everything changes, you can see it's like you're really there. And the sound of it, that And I don't know if you've ever been to the top of the Empire State Building or just the top of that little that quiet white noise hum that happens of being it. I'm telling you, it was fucking bizarre.
Freaky. Now, how are you? Like, if you have to step out onto the plank, you press a button, or do you literally have to take a step forward?
You take a step.
You take a step.
There's no button. You just walk around.
My husband did the plank, right, Anthony?
Yeah, I think he stepped out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What did he say? How did he like it?
He did like it.
Yeah.
It got him very excited, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
Now there's
did anybody fall? Did anybody fall off?
No, but you like hold these little controllers while you're doing everything.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to press the button, you have the controller in your hand, but you press the button. And so then he took us to another thing where then those things become like little rocket arms and you can fly around. So we both did that too. And we were both able to do it, right? Janine, you definitely
I could do that. Yeah.
And there was a weird falling sensation, but two, at the same time, you find yourself like going like this shit.
Well, when you're doing that, this is how you control it, right? By moving your body.
You have to move the arms around and yeah.
So can I just sit still and do it, or you have to physically move?
No. You have to move.
So if you're in like a virtual anything, like a park, but you're in your living room, how you can only go as far as your living room can take you. You can't.
Yes.
You're gonna walk into a wall.
So the mask maps out the room.
Okay.
And if you're getting close to something, a little grid will pop up in your view, and it will let you know. And so, but that will give you a little space from the wall. So he tells me, he goes, step through the grid, walk through the grid. So I walk through the grid, and it's like the Take On Me video. You see everybody in this scratchy. So you see what's really there, but it's in this like scratchy video. And it looks like it looks like RoboCop's view. It's so fucking weird that you see people and they're moving and they're really there, and you're half in between this real world and this virtual world. It's fucked up.
That is cool. Now, what do you need to do it's its own console, right? It's its own.
Yes, and it's made by Facebook, so they steal your identity and your personal information as it's happening.
That's good to know.
Wow.
So what do you plug it in? It's just its own contained thing, like it runs on batteries.
It's the Oculus 2, and you pop it on your face, and it goes. Now it didn't have earphones, but you could hear. Like the speakers are right there, so you can hear. But they tell me that if you do the one with the earphones, it's even more.
Oh, I'm sure you're not hearing the noises in your house. You're hearing whatever's on the screen.
Right. And when you step down, onto the thing, like you look out and there's just like a helicopter going by, and you literally hear it. You hear it on this side, and then you hear it on that side, and then you hear it behind you kind of fade away. And it's just like, you're like, what the fuck?
All right. So you see this conversation we're having now, picture like 10 years from now, how stupid we're going to sound. Like remember how everybody was talking about email, and it's like, there's a little @ symbol. What is that @ symbol? We're going to sound so stupid in 10 years when virtual reality is everywhere and it's so common.
Have you watched that thing on Hulu then? The 90s?
No.
Because there was
that video that went viral of the news news program.
That was the one that they showed in that.
Yeah, when email was like first.
That was the Today Show.
It was Katie Couric and the other guy talking about.
So what is this? A little @ what is this circle around the A or what?
Yeah,
it sounds weird when you go back and look at stuff like that.
Yep.
It's so weird to look at that clip now. It's so true.
But that's exciting. That's pretty cool. Like, what other does it just come with like a handful of things? You have to download other things.
There's all sorts of different things. So he's part of the fire department, whatever, and they're using it as a training mechanism. So you put it on, and then you go into the fire, and we're building it. They have a whole thing like built for it, which is kind of crazy.
I saw a thing with I think Metaverse, which is Facebook as well. So, and they train surgeons that way.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to anyway. That you could have a virtual body and you do virtual surgery.
And the only thing I could think of is how long until they invent the dick piece that I could just sit there and put it on my dick and have, Pam Anderson or whoever do whatever I so choose.
How is that not the first thing they invented? I feel like
that's what I said that's the first thing I said to our friend.
I feel like porn leads the way on most things and most technologies.
J Sabs could have been getting down with Johnny Depp this whole fucking time. Who knew?
There you go.
It's crazy. And so it's funny that you say that, Frank, because I feel like in 10 years, we're all going to be people are going to be sitting next to us as we're doing this. That's how fucking crazy it is.
Yeah, they're going to be you're going to be sitting next to them in a coffee shop and they're going to be like,
yeah. Well, he said you could watch movies on it and it's like you're sitting in a theater and you're looking at a screen. So it's not
you have to look like this.
Yeah, it's not like the movie's on a screen. The movie is literally on a screen in front of you.
Cool.
Okay.
I can't imagine what that's like. He said that the baseball games, they have the cameras in the stadium. So you can fucking sit wherever you want and watch the baseball
That's pretty cool too.
That is really. Now, how expensive is this thing? Like, is it a huge? It's got to be
$250.
$250.
$350.
Yeah, I'm losing you. Is it me or is it you? I don't know.
$350.
Three. Thank you. $350. That's good. I think. I mean, that's on par with most gaming systems, right?
Like PlayStation and shit. Yeah.
PlayStation's got to be around there now. I can't imagine it being more than that.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was incredible. That's why I'm saying what this guy did, filming his life for a year, to be able to walk back. Like, Canadian, can you imagine walking into the room where you were a year ago?
Yeah,
don't you think that would be a little fucking weird? To watch yourself moving around and everything? I think that would be trippy as fuck for people.
I guess I'm just having a hard time imagining it outside of it being like a home video. I'm sure it's more complicated and more virtual reality than that. But like,
I'm sure this guy's gonna get that.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got to figure it out in some way.
Who, me?
No, I mean my roommate.
Yeah, but that's what I was gonna add. All right, so we all fucking do it, and literally every guy is like, "I gotta fucking get this."
Yeah,
and I've been literally trying to forget about it so I don't buy it, but I don't see how I cannot buy it.
Oh, your kids are gonna no. Is this gonna be something that you let your kids use?
I can't. I gotta hide it from them.
You gotta hide it from them.
Yeah.
They're gonna want to do it. Forget it. I'm trying to get my son off a Nintendo Switch. Could you imagine if I put this thing on his fucking face that he's living in the
Maybe he'll finally stop touching his dick. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I don't even know if that'll help, to be honest.
I was like, hey, you, do you have to pee? Do you have to make pee-pee? He's like, no.
Stop asking me that.
I know, right?
Wow. I'm just happy he's literally not putting his dick on the little girls in our group. That's what I'm really happy about.
That's when you have to say something.
He was holding one of my daughter's hand at the party, and then his dick in another. So you know what? It's coming.
Still technically not a crime, I gotta say.
Right, it really is. It really isn't.
Anne, when are you gonna step in and put a stop to this?
I don't know. We yell at him all the time when he does it. Just stop doing it. We keep telling him.
That's what happens with all little boys. They always like, oh, what's this? Oh, my penis. Oh, okay.
That's the conversation. That's literally the conversation.
Yeah,
it's pretty true.
That's what happens.
It's pretty much how it goes down.
Yeah.
I mean, my wife's still.
Go ahead.
Just bumping into each other for the same stupid joke. I was gonna say my wife still has to fucking yell at me.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say my mother still yells at me. Get your hands out of your pants, Janine.
Oh God. At least you don't work at a Tim Hortons.
I can't believe it's the same one. Anyway, I'm gonna jump out because I got to do something.
Well, don't leave me here. I gotta go too.
Huh?
I'll stay.
All right.
I'm not gonna stay.
Dick in your hand.
Yeah, maybe.
I think this. So, your husband didn't buy it yet?
He's gonna probably.
Has he talked about it?
He hasn't, which I'm very surprised about because it's something that he wanted to try. And then, like, I walked in on him, like, at the house doing it, and I was like, "Oh God!"
You walked in on him doing it.
And I was like, "He's gonna get such a boner for this thing." But then, meanwhile, I tried it, and I was like, "Oh, I like this."
Me and her husband were the first ones to do it. It was fucking unbelievable. I couldn't believe it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Is this how old is this? Because you said it's Oculus 2.
I think it's new. I think it came out recently. I don't know when. I know nothing about it.
Okay, because I'm sure if it's recent, great. But if it's like almost a year old, you might as well just wait for the next version to come out.
I don't know, but I'll tell you this. I've seen it on commercials and shit. And I've never done a 180 on something because I look at it and I go, you look like a fucking asshole. It's so stupid. And then I'm telling you, putting it on, it was like unbelievable. Okay, but here's the fucked up part. You can do like we could do things together. So like there's like a golf game where you literally take this thing. They sell, by the way, a golf club.
Where it has like the weight and everything.
And then you put like one of the controllers on the end of it, and that's how it can tell what you're doing. And you can,
yeah, he would.
Definitely. We could go play the same course.
I could be at my house, you could be at your house, and we can go.
Yeah.
All right, now we got to get this thing.
Is that crazy?
Are we doing this? Are we getting this thing? What are we doing here? Are we daring each other to? We got it. Maybe we got it.
I'll tell you the one thing that is making me a little reluctant. I don't have the time. Like this will be such a time suck.
You make the time.
Like this is like. Do you remember when you first got video games? Then you would start like not when you were
for years.
Okay, let's go back to what's the one? Grand Theft Auto.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that? It was that first game where it was like you just go and wander around and you could do whatever you want.
Open world. Yeah, open world games are. There's one. There were two games that are my all-time favorite games. I mean, since the beginning of time. One's called. It's a Star Wars game, but it's like an open world. It's called Shadows of the Empire.
Okay.
And you're a bounty hunter and you're walking around. You got a jetpack and it's a cool game. Second game is, which I would imagine if they somehow pulled this off in that Oculus thing, would be unbelievable. It's Spider-Man 2 for PlayStation 2 or 3 or something. But it's Spider-Man 2, and it's like based off the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans, and it was because you get to free roam around New York City, around Manhattan, and you could go to as far as Washington Heights, all the way down to the Statue of Liberty, and over to the Queensboro Bridge, and you're at Madison Square Garden. You could literally just swing your way through the city, and it was like it's like you're in the city. It was so cool, and there's just random shit that you could do as you're swinging around. Yeah, and it was just such a cool, fun game. So if they could somehow pull that off, can you imagine your Spider-Man virtually swinging around New York? That'd be insane.
It's crazy, and like do you when those games started coming out, we were like.
We were teenagers,
late teens, early 20s.
Yeah,
I can remember just playing for hours, just like starting to play at like 7 o'clock at night, and it being like 3 o'clock in the morning, and you're like, "Oh shit!"
But like, if you're wide awake and you're just eyes bugged out.
yeah, and I just foresee the same thing happening with this, where I'm just like, it kind of felt a little like. When I put again, I don't do drugs, but like when people go, "Oh, when I had that first taste of Coke," I was like, I kind of felt like that's what people describe.
The first one's free.
When you're like, I could do this forever. Like I can't imagine how great this fucking.
The first entrance into the metaverse is free. Then you got to pay. I wonder, like, you pay for the console once, and then that's it, or do you have to like subscribe to shit?
There's no subscription, but you have to buy. Each game.
Buy games, that makes sense. That's what.
And they're like $39 or $15. It depends on what it is,
right? If it's like a Marvel thing or a Star Wars thing or just a roaming around simple thing.
Like I don't know what this thing was that he gave us, but it was pretty crazy being in a weird, bizarre city.
Yeah. Now what? That's not really a game. That's just a like. It almost seems like the demo that you would experience in the store.
Yeah, that's what I felt. Am I breaking that?
You're breaking up a little bit, but so did he have other stuff on that, or was it just that demo thing?
He had other. Oh, okay, he did. Am I back yet?
You're back, perfect.
He did. The second thing we did was I don't know what button he pressed. He didn't even know. He goes, "Oh shit," because he put it on after Janine and Janine's husband and I put it on, and he goes, "Oh shit, I'm on Santa's sleigh."
What? And he didn't know how he got there.
And he's like, "You got to see this." So he puts it back on me, and I'm standing There's 8 reindeer assholes in front of me. I turn around behind me. There's a shit ton of presents. I go, I wonder if you could pick this up. Sure enough, I pick up one of the things and it goes as I because I was shaking it. It goes,
like so you were flying cats, is what you were doing.
Yeah, and then there's like a little bell, and you ring the bell, and then the thing takes off, and I'm like, shit. So I'm flying the thing now, and I'm like, this is insane. And it was like the most gorgeous, like, you know, the scenes in Polar Express when it's like nighttime, but there's a glow and there's fucking Josh Groban music and shit playing, and it just makes you feel like Christmas magic.
Oh God, I never want to leave here.
And then Dean Husband discovered that
losing you.
Oh, fuck! You losing me?
Hang on.
I hate the internet.
I know it'll come back in a second. Just give it a second.
Fucking.
Right, you're back. You're back.
Okay. I'm just in awe with my jaw open, flying around like a schmuck. So then I give it to Janine's husband, and he figures out that you pick up the gifts and you can literally throw it into the chimneys.
So you're not like breaking into people's houses like Santa and leaving it under the tree?
No, but I'm watching him just go like
As glass shatters.
Yeah, you look like the biggest schmuck ever. By the way, I have the video of Janine doing it. I'm going to put it in the members only area, so you'll get to see it.
The only way to see it is become a member. Link below.
Become a member if you want to see that. But because she's hysterical while she's doing it. I mean, completely. She's screaming. It's total J-Saps. It's total like full on J-Saps. She's screaming. She's fucking throwing shit. Like, it's crazy.
I got to look into this because I'm sure when you buy it, it comes with some preloaded experiences.
Yeah.
I'm imagining like the Santa thing or the elevator thing. But I've seen commercials where they have like Star Wars. You're walking around with a lightsaber and you're fighting Darth Vader and shit. I'm sure that's got to be pretty cool.
I think there's a Star Wars. Yeah, I think the Star Wars is like one of their big games is the Star Wars game. That's
got to be cool. I wonder how many games they have. I mean, because if it's only like 3 or 4, it's whatever. But if you have
I only looked at it for 2 seconds.
Yeah,
like that, because when you look, okay, how much is it, and then they give you like the suggested games and stuff. Excuse me, they don't list a ton of games. It's not like they because I was like, oh, the hockey must be crazy. There's no hockey game on it.
I think they're crawling it at the moment, and then they're gonna.
Yeah, there probably will be. Now, Paul said there's a glove for the metaverse. If there's a fucking glove, I will fucking die. Because holding the things is the least realistic feeling part about it.
Okay, I can see that.
You forget it because you're so immersed in the whole thing. But if you just had like the glove, I can't imagine what. But some guy's gonna be like, I'm gonna put the glove on my dick and see what happens. Like that's what's gonna happen. Like we're just not that far away from that.
See, here, what the thing with that is, I mean, if you're a company like Facebook or Meta, whatever the hell it is, are you going to go that route of we're gonna make right? Are you gonna make things that's not family friendly?
No, but how it works is with Apple and all the other and Facebook and you can develop app. They have all the info out there that developers can make whatever they want off of your platform,
but illegally probably.
Do that. Yeah, they're gonna do it. They're gonna backdoor it, but somebody's gonna figure out a way to do it.
Yeah, it's not gonna be legit, and it's probably gonna be half-assed, but they'll do it.
Since the beginning of time, we've invented technology, and then we figured out a way to fucking,
right. You said it all right there.
Crank one out to it. So
I mean, number one, it would make billions if they did that. But number two, I can't see them doing that.
Okay. Think about this. Now, Frank and I, years ago, were part of a card game. We played together every fucking Friday night for like 6 years straight. Now we haven't since because we've moved, married, kids. Everybody's life is every now and then it still happens, right? But very rare. I don't think I've been to one in like 5 years.
Right, it's rare.
Could you imagine being able to just plop this thing on and we're all sitting at the card table playing and bullshitting and talking to each other?
That would be good. The only thing with that is we tried doing virtual, like an online poker game. It wasn't virtual. It was just an online poker game, and that it's different because it's the game doing. It's not, you're not holding cards. That's the difference.
Right.
When it's something like poker or something, you want to be able to hold the card. You want to be able to deal. You don't want the computer dealing for you. You know, that kind of thing. That takes away the realism for me anyway. But I could see. But then again, everybody has to have a device. You know, that's the catch as well. If you buy it, you're going to be the, you know, if I buy it, I'm going to be the only one wearing it, and I can't play with anybody else unless they have the device.
But I mean, we could all be sitting at a virtual table playing together, which is kind of crazy.
That is crazy.
It makes me think of Ready Player One, and it makes me feel like, holy shit, we are really not that far away from.
No, we're not. It's just going to be, there's going to be a lot of, I mean, people just in virtual reality that just, if you've ever seen, there's a good, I don't know what you're going to say, but it's a Futurama episode. There's a lot of stuff like, it's similar to Simpsons Futurama, and that, you know, there's a lot of predicting stuff like that. But in Futurama, they do this virtual, everybody puts on a virtual reality helmet, and they're walking around. There's this store, there's that store, and they're just talking to people, you know, and that's how one of the characters meets someone else that, you know, propels the story forward. But it's, you know, that's what it is. That's what it's going to become. You're just going to, instead of going out to a bar and meeting people, you're going to virtually go to a bar and meet people, you know, but you're not going to get drunk.
But it's so, the weird, life is tough, right? Like, life could be really difficult. In this free thing, I mean, I could understand why people would want to live that in that world and not their own, because it's like, even if your life is good, like, even if by all means you're not depressed and you consider yourself to have a good, lucky life, you can't fucking fly. But in this thing, you can just fucking fly.
Yeah, no, and you could fly, you could wield a lightsaber, you could use the Force, you could climb a building, you could, there's going to be all sorts of shit that it's as realistic as we can get, you know, without actually doing it.
It's crazy. It is really, really crazy to think about.
Yeah.
It's weird because Ready Player One came out and I was like, boy, I mean, I guess we're probably heading there one day, but it's probably going to take a while. And then I literally got a glimpse into that world on Saturday. And that's
amazing. So are you getting this thing? Yes or no?
I think so. Are you getting it? Are you getting hyped on it?
I'm getting, the way you guys are talking about it, and from the footage I've seen, it looks really cool. So I'll look into it. I'll see maybe this whole podcast becomes that.
It could. It really could.
We'll just be on this thing the whole time.
I mean, could you imagine us doing this show and people that are wearing the fucking thing be in a virtual studio with us?
That would be cool.
That's nuts.
Can they virtually like slap us in the head if they wanted to?
Possibly.
Cool.
Right, possibly.
All right.
We're out of virtual time.
All right, virtually speaking. Well, gotta say, get your stuff, become a member as Anthony's audio comes back, hopefully.
Show me potato salad.
Maybe we should go now. Go ahead.